Today, we're going to have a very special podcast. The Heffron Reep show with Jon Reep is, what happened to Jon Reep was, let me just tell you this, and then I'll get into this in a second. Jon Reep was in Tampa, Florida last week. He was at Side Splitters, where I am going to be in October. And what happened was, Jon's shows were so good. They were so sold out. The audience laughed so hard that I forgot to plug my computer in, which means it's going to die. But they were laughing so hard that it just took everything out of them. And he's like, listen, I brought so much joy to everybody in Tampa this weekend. I have to sit out this podcast. And I went, Jon, you deserve it. You deserve it. So that's why I have a Bible out. And we're just going to go through some things. We're going to start working on our foundations. By the way, so I'm new to reading the Bible. And look how old I am. Look what it says right here. Large print. If anybody out there has not gotten a book in large print, I highly recommend it. Tammy Pescatelli, do you read stuff? Because look, Tammy, you're a faith. Look what I do. Watch this. I have my little Bible.
I love it.
But do you see my little podium thing? And
yes, that my father would be very proud of you.
And I go like this, and then sometimes I stand and I just go, and there won't be no dancing. Like I just do. I mean, that's not what it says. And then I have these little markers where if I think something is kind of cool, I write that down.
That's awesome. I have a Holy Mass thing right now. If you would, it's a Holy Mass in my pocket that I carry with me on the road. If you would like me to do something, Lord, hear our prayer. If you would like me to read it to you at another point, maybe we'll just do a whole service sometime like that.
I'm gonna look what I got. Look what I got. First time I ever got one of these.
Aw, good for you. I like this wife.
You're like, I like this one.
I like this wife.
Yeah.
I do.
I had a moment. I've probably been more spiritual or lately. I know people jump on and off. I get it. I get that. People.
Life is hard and nobody judges that. That's the thing. Like, I never was part of that organization that would judge. Like, I always had my own faith. That's what got me through. But like, do what you want to do. Figure it out with God. Like, you know what I mean? That fire and brimstone thing, I think, never brought a lot of people to where they need to go.
Yeah. Well, I had a thing. I had like a medical thing. And then, so then I got real like reedy and pray because I'm like, oh, if this is what I think it might be, this is going to suck. Right. And then you kind of have all these moments. And then, so then I got all that. But
well, I think a lot of it, you know what? I mean, everybody has different things, but it's how we get through. You know, I mean, for me, that's how I get through because there's something greater than me. I think we get so myopic, especially in show business. And there is a level of narcissism that made us get on stage. We needed whatever attention it was, the love that we get from the audience, and then we end up talking at people that we love ultimately, that I have to stay prayed up for me because it helps me to calm down. Like it definitely.
How religious, how deep do you think you can go and still do what we do, sticking with what you do? Right? Because there are Christian comics, right? That you know,
do a Christian act.
They do a Christian act, but I've seen some of them, and some of it I think is a little hocus pocusy in the sense of my husband doesn't vacuum, but like a good Christian woman, I don't kill him. And then everyone laughs because they're like, you're like, yeah, but no, you're not supposed to kill your husband regardless if you're, but they just throw in this.
Well, right? I don't know this part of Lot of the Bible yet, where Lot is, not Lot necessarily, that's the pillar. So Abraham is supposed to sacrifice his son. God tells him, sacrifice your son, because he wants to see how faithful Abraham is. And then just at the last moment, when the boy is on the altar, this is Old Testament hardcore stuff, a goat comes and God says, sacrifice the goat and let your son go. And I used to do a joke about like that kid was good for the rest of his life because he knew that his father would literally kill him. He had seen it. Like there's no way that there's an awkward conversation walking back down that mountain. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I love you. Yeah.
I didn't talk to you. I don't believe about this. About writing material. Did I do this last week or is this with Reep? I'm sorry, my brain is.
I wasn't with you last week, so I'm not sure. Go ahead.
So look what I do. I even highlight stuff and I go like that with my big print, and then 3 things lied about. So now how I write material is I will go through and I will just find a sentence. Right here it says the longer you live, the wiser you become. But then this is Job. But then he says, but I see I was wrong. And God's spirit in a person that's how you become wiser. So his whole thing is the older you get doesn't mean you get wiser. You can be an old, dumb person because you never get your learn on. So then what I started doing, going, that's a great bit. What one thing or 2 things in your life do you think you would have been better at or been wiser about now? Right. Because then I'm like, so look at that. So it's not a Christian comic, but I'm drawn.
So years ago, you walk different places in your faith. And I always have written my act as if my parents were there because my father was not only a good Christian, but my father was an Italian father that literally you couldn't embarrass him like that. You just never wanted to disappoint that man. Right. And I talked to my pastor at one time and I said, I swear and I can't help it. I mean, I'm trying to not swear. Some of the stuff I talk about may not be, I'm not a Christian comic, although I'm a comic who is a Christian. And he said, girl, Jesus took sailors. He wants you to talk to the people like that. He wants you to be relatable. Like he didn't go get the people out of the church, out of the sky. Like he didn't take the rabbis. He took the average people because he wants you, sometimes you're as close to church as someone's going to get. And I'm not trying to convert anybody. Like that's not my message. But my message is, I've named my specials. Find the funny. You get through it, everything that happens after school. Like we can get through things because bad stuff happens. It's how you process it and where you go from that,
Yeah, I think it's super interesting. Like the more that I've been reading in the stories, I just kind of apply it to like stand up, and then you think of because I want to bring back my 80s church thing I used to do, where I used to find lyrics from 80 songs and then I tie it into something from the Bible. But what I found that I was having trouble with is, and maybe I'm gonna just make a choice and commit, is like I'd always go, as we see in Daryl Hall & Oates track 3 disc 4, I can't go for that, no can do. And then I would just tie in like the one I'm working on is how many things happen in our life where you want to say no, you can't, but for whatever reasons you say you do. There's some things in your life you have to say no to, you have to blah blah blah. And then I look up Bible verses where it says, when you have your faith and you wear it like a belt or like a weighted vest, that's not the exact words, you're more grounded. So when you have to make those decisions of no can do, it's already there. You're not wishy-washy because you're not moving in the wind, because your foundation is kind of, so then I somehow tie that with funny. So that's my new 80s trick.
There's some very funny proverbs. There's a proverb, and I'm not good at numbers. My father used to be able to shoot out the numbers like crazy. Mm-hmm. Although I do remember my first phone number ever. But there's a proverb that has helped my marriage because it says, better to sit on the corner of a roof than argue with a quarrelsome wife. I'm like, that's what it is. You're better off sitting up on your roof. That's it. And not even the whole roof, just the corner where you could possibly fall off.
Well, maybe that's the song. I was going to try to find it for you, but I'm not that good. Yeah, maybe that's, like the song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Sitting Up on the Roof. Remember that one? Or Roof?
Yeah. I don't know. Luke always gives me a hard time. My husband always gives me a hard time. Let me tell you about him. So I talk about him a lot in my acts. People go, how does he handle it? He handles it. He loves it. He loves that I talk about him. He doesn't care what I say because that's the confidence of being the hot kid in the slow class. And he said to me the other day, you got to watch this video. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, it's this drunk cop and he's trying to pull this guy out of the car. And he goes, he's so drunk, the cop can't even walk straight. And I'm like, wow, let me see that. Because like, we're over here in our house. You do what you want in your house, but we're big cop supporters. We good cops. Nobody wants bad cops, but they're
You're allowed
bad
to be both. Yeah. That's what people always get weird about that. Like I'm family police. My grandfather was killed on line of duty. You're allowed to be pro police and anti horrible ones that do shitty jobs.
Just like anything else.
You're allowed to go
love
both.
teachers. I also don't like the ones that bang their students. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
you're allowed to be both. I know in the world we live in now, you have to pick a side. You're allowed to go, I'm into cops, but also trained ones.
Right. So I was like, oh my God, let me see this. I sit down to watch it with him. First of all, right at the top, it says JonReep.com. I go, babe, that's Jon Reep. He goes, yeah, I know. It must have been on his website. I'm like, no, that cop. And I'm listening. And I go, that's Jon Reep. And like the more I've
never seen.
Oh, it's so good. And then, but it was so good that Reep had to release a second video saying it's a fake thing. This is from years ago. I think it's from like 2005 or 2008. It was a sketch. I can't even remember.
Scat. Yeah.
It was scat. It was scat.
It was a scat thing he did. He should release it now. Like I wonder if
it's playing like crazy. It's got like 8 million views.
I'm going to do reaction one. I don't know how those work, but you know how ever see those videos where it's just people staring at it?
Yes. And talking about it. I'm going to start doing that too.
So I'm going to do me just staring at Reep doing that and see if I get one follower or however.
It's so funny. Listen, John, I have 2 videos. One has 52 million views and one has 63 million views. And it's my Just for Laughs set at the gala that I did with Sebastian. But it's not on my site. It's on their site. I can't even repost it because they keep saying that it's copyright infringement. I'm like, it's me. Like, I can't. I mean, I don't get a dime off of it. Like, how much money that would be? Like, I mean, 50 million, it's $2,500 a million, right? So you got a calculator?
Yeah. No, I do. I got my 80s calculator.
Oh, you do? Okay, go ahead. Because I was saying
this one, everybody.
Oh, that's a Samuel.
I don't know. It's a lot of money.
2,500.
2,500.
1, 2, 3. How many zeros in million? 7.
I'm trying to think of my last tax forms.
Yeah, okay, like that.
Yeah, something like that.
About that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. 7, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They owe me a crap ton of money. That's what I know. I don't know how to do it. Anyway,
I saw on I'm not on TikTok or even I just refuse, and it just seems very young. So I'm doing no can do. No can. But somebody sent me a clip saying they're using your audio, and it's an old bit of mine that was used like 400 some thousand times. It's an old bit that I would never do, and people are acting it out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm still not like
same. There's a girl that did it. She's got some bit that I did. I can't remember which one. Maybe my spider bit. Could have been my threesome joke. I can't remember. She had 3 million viewers or 3 million likes.
Right.
My joke. Her doing, which is great. They don't even put your name to tag you, so at least it would let people know. But whatever. You know what? I joined TikTok. Maybe they would like the actual joke. Like maybe I should, since someone would like her saying it 3 million times worth. Maybe they would like me telling the joke, actually.
No.
Probably about 67 views. Like,
Yeah. I'm about a second away from doing this, and this is kind of just follow us along. If you listen to the podcast all the time, you know how much. So I was at a concert, and I saw these fellas, which you kind of know.
Yes, I happen to know them. Hi, guys.
Little New Kids on the Block action I saw over the weekend with the wife with Salt and Pepper and Rick Ashley and Vogue. But here's what I think I want to do as a guy my age. Instead of me trying to perform, me trying to do comedy, me trying to do funny videos, which I think we got to boy band it is what we do.
Well, what about me? What do I do then?
You find somebody who's in their 20s, and you go, listen, kid, I'm going to give you an act. And you take all your act from your 20s, go, you do this, and then you do funny videos. And I'm going to get the check, see? And every week I'm going to pay you, right? You just go out there and you just get that cash. I don't know why I got to talk like that.
I don't know. Well, remember we talked about, last I talked to you on the podcast, I had just come from Chappelle's compound.
Yeah.
And done a set in between Dave, who did 20 minutes, and then Jon Stewart, who did 30 minutes after me. And I felt like it was really good, and I did a good job. And then I realized as I come home, like, it's one thing, like, I knew that they are multi-millionaires, that they're at the top of our game. I would argue that Dave is the greatest of all time for me. But they are also Mark Twain. Almost said something that get me kicked out of church.
Yeah.
Mark Twain winners, like Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize winners. And I'm like, everybody laughed consistently through Dave, through me, through John. How come, like, there was no in the middle going, oh my God, well, she didn't win the Mark Twain Prize. Like, you know what I mean? Jokes are jokes are jokes. So I'm hoping that we can figure something out where I think we just need to stop talking about it, and we all need to get on tour together.
Yeah, 100%. But see, hold on to show you how much I diversify. By the way, dates for me and Mr. Reep, if you go to heffronandreep.com, this weekend I'm at the West Palm or Palm Beach Improv. I don't know what they call it. I'm at one of them this weekend.
That's nice.
Hopefully my flights make it there, unlike last week. And then I'm someplace in St. Louis at the end of July. Jon Reep he's always someplace. We'll put up Tammy's shows and stuff like. I have to show you this, and then I want to tell you a little story about a man named Jed. So, you know how I always like to diversify, right? You know how I'm always trying to.
That's called ADD. I don't think it's diversify. I think your brain just doesn't.
Right.
Finish.
So, you know, I wrote my spy book. That's right here. The Holding Deal.
Can we act it out? Should we act it out?
Well, I have something we can act out. So I have the Holding Deal. And then I have another book I wrote in my 20s. It was just from my act. But here's the newest creation that is going to be out in maybe 2 weeks. And nobody can go to links to it now because it's not ready. But I just want to show you the cover, and you can tell me what you think about the cover. But I think there's a way that I can be a #1 bestseller in the children's category for a day if everybody gets on board and buys it the day that it's out. But I just want to, right now, this is a exclusive reveal of the book that I've been working on with my wife. We've had a couple reads here on the show about it. So I've teased it, but the cover is done. All of it's done, actually, except for one little thing. And I will show you the cover, and you can just tell me what you think right here. What? Look at that. Does that look official or what? Can you read the?
I love that.
My grandma makes blueberry pancakes.
I love that. Who drew that? You?
So I hired a guy.
I figured you did.
Okay, so I hired a guy on this thing called Upwork. Okay, it's called, you find like freelancers to do stuff, and I didn't want to. I was trying
Instead
to
of
think
just
of
going in front of Home Depot and seeing who's hanging out.
yeah. So I wanted to get, but drawing human faces is kind of tough, and
This
everybody.
person is excellent.
Well, yes, I had a little bit of language problem with him, but I kind of liked how he did everything. We had a problem up front when he was drawing a grandma who looked like she was 140 years old. So I really wanted to make sure that the grandma looks just like a grandma's age, right? Because grandmas can be in the 40s now. So I had him draw a bunch of characters because the little story is Jane there on the right. Walks around and she wants to know who can make blueberry pancakes. It's pretty much a book. I don't want to give a spoiler alert. So one of the stories is she goes to her neighbor and she asked the neighbor, as I'm pulling up something. I will give you the hold on, everybody. Hold on. Okay, right. So right.
Guys, I just want you to know that what you
Okay.
are seeing, this is when John is, we have been friends for, I guess, 30 years now, probably
Right.
come close. And
Right.
this is what happens on all our conversations. It
Okay,
always starts with, it's going to a point, and then it's a series of hold-ons,
Okay.
and then that's
All
what
right,
we're
so
talking about.
so
And
here's the writing of it. So then Jane waves to her neighbor and she gives his fence a shake. Neighbor, can you help me make blueberry pancakes? And then the neighbor comes out and says, I can make them fluffy. I declare out loud, my pancakes are soft and light. It's like eating a cloud, right? So that's all kind of a thing. So then I had the guy draw what the neighbor looked like. And Alan, do you have that picture from 2 weeks ago? I didn't give you a lot of heads up, but I think you'll know which one. It was you showed it to me actually when the podcast started. So okay, that's kind of a bad thing, but if it was clearer, he made this neighbor lady look so smoking. Like she has a short skirt on, she's got like boobs, she's got like a short dress, and then I had the ixnay.
yeah, because that girl looks like she's got a problem.
Well, it's this picture.
Her,
It's
no. I mean, the little girl, her head is so giant, and the neighbor's head is normal size. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, and then this is a bad picture of it. But so then we had to, when Michelle looked at it, she's like, "Why is Jane living next to Charo?" So we had to switch it up. All right, Alan, we don't have to show him because it's all clear. So that book, the little kid book about pancakes I've been working on, it's gonna get done in 2 weeks.
That's
what
good.
I do.
My son's favorite kid's book when he was little is If You Give a Pig a Pancake. So maybe that's what that sketch was. Maybe that's what the neighbor was.
Oh, what if you give a kid a pancake? I don't even know that. Now people are gonna think I ripped off
a pancake. Her head is red like Stewie. Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that lady had a whole series. If you give a pig a pancake, if you give a mouse a house, she had a. I mean, you know, look, I'm well versed. Hey, do you not have filters on this service here? I would like a filter. I think
I just bought some new Diva lights. I will send you the link. They work awesome. I don't have any in here.
I have blue light on. I have a couple ring lights on. You know,
I will send you a link that Alan sent me for they're squares about this big. Put off no heat. You put it directly in front of your face. Perfecto.
I could do that if I shut this blue light off. But the blue light, I thought, gave it some character. I've been noticing all the big YouTube stars have colors behind them. But I just
I tried doing that with this. This is called backdrop, and I tried like blowing up this color thing. But the white over here, I don't know what to do with that, and I don't know how to make I just want the pot like this. I don't know how to have all this extra stuff.
I actually have a movie screen projector I could put behind me.
But you know what looks cool? If you look at Mike Rowe does a podcast, he's just sitting almost exactly in the type of scenario you have with just a mic, and it's nothing.
Did I ever read this to you? This is from the Jerry Lewis telethon when John Kerry and George Bush election. That's how long I've been a comic. And I stole this from my dressing room after Bob Goulet took a dump in it. It said, important, no politics, please. And I've used this for my whole life. Jerry Lewis has asked that no references be made during the telethon to the election to Messieurs Bush and or Kerry, or to any aspect, because Jerry was huge in France. So I'm sure that's why.
So okay.
Yeah. Comedians are especially urged to be careful about this matter. Okay? This matter. Political references on our show, including the wearing of politically inscribed items, can result in serious consequences for the association. Your utmost cooperation is requested. So they just like literally this is a threatening letter in millennial speak.
Right, yeah, right. Free speech, man. So where are you coming up anytime soon?
So July 8th and 9th, I have a crazy July. July 8th and 9th at the Atlantic City Comedy Club. It's at the Claridge Hotel, Celebrity Theater. July 14th, I'm at the Nantucket Comedy Festival, which is my first time on Nantucket. Yeah, never been. July 22nd, I'm at the Kate in Saybrook, Connecticut, and July 23rd, I'm at the Stage 1 in Fairfield, Connecticut, and the last week of the month, I'm at Bassani's in Port Charlotte. So it's a crazy month in July.
So all of July, you're just getting very Connecticut. I know,
yes,
that's
a lot of Connecticut. I'm in the Tucket.
Oh, Muffy, we should go see Pescatelli.
But it's the worst thing. I'm so busy, but no one is coming out in the summer because everybody has, guys, tell me in the chat, everybody has like triple the amount of stuff you normally do in the summer, right? Because you're making up for all of those things that didn't happen for the past 2 summers.
Right.
I mean, no one's out. No one's out.
They will when you're at in Port Charlotte.
Yes, because it's free air conditioning.
It's free air conditioning. They've all been retired for 30 years down there. I love Port Charlotte. So I love it. I would move down there. We actually were looking at condos in that area. It's just hard to get to a airport or anything from there.
Are you telling me that? Are you talking to me? I live an hour and a half from every airport.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's quality of life, but I'm not ready for Florida. That's the only part of Florida that I would move to. Where's Mr. Reep? We know he's in
North Carolina. So what was I telling you about the phone? Things I want to talk about. We didn't get to any of it, and the show's almost over.
No, we did. We talked about the book. We talked about but I know what we're going to talk about. So, in case you guys are trying to listen to a comedian, one of us on Spotify, you should know that months ago they took comics off of Spotify because I guess they just didn't want to pay us. So comics like me, Jon Reep, Reno, all your buds, they took us off. They left huge ones. Greg Warren, they've left huge ones on there, of course. Kevin Hart, all those are still there. Now, that if you look for us this week coming up on Sirius XM, and hopefully not into the future, hopefully it stops tomorrow, but they've now taken us off of Sirius XM as well because somebody has decided to do a class action thing and throw all our names in on it. So
yeah, so that drives me crazy. I go to Spotify. There's no albums of mine on there at all. Now, today, I found out that all of my tracks that played on satellite are all also no longer going to be played.
Who told you that? How'd you find that out?
I have to leave out this person, the original person who said, I'm hearing some scuttlebutt, da-da-da. And I'm like, I don't know if that could be true. And then I called somebody, and then those people called, and it all got back. Yeah, it's 100% true. Which one pisses me off as the artist that nobody lobs in an email.
I know they could have sent us one.
Anything. But I've done comedy for 33 years. I have 6 albums. I have no way to show for it. Now you've just taken all my stuff off of everything. Unless you buy something on Apple, which nobody does, I'm beyond livid, and there's nobody to talk to. I'm gonna do some investigation research and have people, because that's right, Mark. Save John.
Save Tammy too.
Save Tammy. But it sucks, and we are not in the know. I think my level of comic-y, nobody cares, so it's not that big a deal. But if you're looking for us, you got to go see us. I have 2 sample songs that someone made at Spotify, and trust me, they're very obviously jokes and very little editing. But I keep emails about monetizing.
Well, I think that Dillinger, I mean, I think that's awesome. I think what they've done though is that if you only have 2, they don't have to pay you. They're paying you, but they don't have to pay that much. When there's someone like I have 2.5 albums out, or 3. You have 3. Actually, I have 3.5. You have 6. Guess what? I don't have a physical copy of any of my stand-up anymore. The past.
Are you serious? I'll send you some of mine. I have boxes. I don't
have a DVD of the past 2 specials. If those disappear off of Prime, I mean, I'm pretty much screwed.
I think we gotta let's start. I'll get a hold of Reep and see. What if we start a 1-800 number, and we'll put all of our tracks on a 1-800 number, and you can call it, and you can listen to our stand-up.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
And if
call and you randomly get a joke,
and you get a number, and then it'd be like those 800 chat lines. It'll be like those party lines. We'll do it that, or you can self-addressed envelope, and we'll write out a joke and send it to your PO box.
I'll tell you what, I think what I'm going to do is I'll set it up. Everybody who follows me on Instagram or Twitter will get the link to the private number with the jokes. What about that? What if we did that?
Now we're see, this is what I like about this podcast. Like we got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, we do.
I think people
nothing over here.
We're gonna bring back an 800 number where people can just call and listen.
Like time and temperature. But
we'll give time and temps. We'll have it be you just kind of check in, and $1 a month to get the private super phone number. And then if you're out somewhere and you meet somebody and you don't want to give them your real phone number, if people still do that, you give our number.
Yeah, that's fine. And we can also maybe get a little maybe we get some advertising or something. Tell the joke. I'm
thinking direct mail. My buddy who's on here, Jason Moffat, I don't know where he went. Jason Moffat he's an internet. He's an internet marketing whiz. I don't know why we don't have him on, and he could give us one of his little things that he does to help me, you, and Reep and Rena. We'll do a little test marketing thing.
Yeah. I would love it, because we'll have to collectively learn how to spell algorithm together. But I don't know. I think that we're having a hard time.
Yeah. So I was telling you, I'll save that story. I was going to tell my MRI story. Let me ask the audience in here. Does anybody who has, by the way, we're seeing everybody. Jason, we help us market our thing. I think Jason, we go direct. Should we go mail pack, that thing where, those blue things you get with coupons to like California Closets and all that stuff? Maybe we put jokes in there. Maybe we just buy infomercial time, like Byron Allen. Do you know Hulu? Hulu? You can do commercials, local commercials for Hulu for literally pennies a play. So for like $500, you can get thousands and thousands of local commercials on Hulu. I say we make a commercial for Hulu, and we just play it, and then we see. You remember like those old, me and Greg Warren were talking about this. You'd go into a truck stop, and they used to have those CDs, And
yeah,
they were
those
like,
were laughing hyenas.
and they looked horrible. We make
Yeah.
a horrible cover. So like there's a star and your face, like a bad black and white headshot, Reep's face, and we'll put like all American comedy, just or something like that. And then that's the commercial we'll make that people can order this CD.
Jason goes, you look pretty on bus benches. That's awesome. That's what we should do. We should do all that. But John, I like that. Well, I think we just got to get our tour moving. Period. That's what we got to do. I have an idea. Tomorrow, you and I are going to call Andrew Dorfman. We love him. He's a good guy. We're calling.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So, all right. I kind of feel now that we have some. What are you in the crowd? If you were a comic trying to what's our even goal anymore? I don't really care about
staying alive. I think
like we don't.
I gave up wanting to have money and be respected. Now I think I just want to go out, get my bills paid, and hang out with people I like. Because there are so many idiots in comedy now.
Yeah.
I mean, there were always idiots, but I'd rather just hang out with my friends and be able to pay my bills. There's nothing greater.
So do like one show a week somewhere fun.
Yeah.
We'll do my in bed by 10. I don't know why people are not jumping all over this. Make sure one of all streams that have ads, Hulu video, etc. I say make one. Yeah, we'll just figure it out. Maybe we'll make like a fake movie, like a 30-second fake movie, and then have a QR code, and it just leads to all of our stuff. I say we hornswoggle.
I think we should read your book.
Just as a kid's book and try to sell it like.
Oh, not the kid's book, the spy book.
The spy book was good. I always wanted to do a tele thing of that where we read it out.
Have parts on it.
All right. I kind of have so much to say, but I almost want to save it.
Yeah, till I'm not here.
I'm gonna save it. You need to voice, because I'm gonna do, once this book's done, you need to do a voice of one of the parties in it.
Oh, I would love it. Who can I be?
You could be the neighbor. We've changed her though. The neighbor now is a way older lady.
That's perfect for me.
Way older lady. Yeah, so we got that. Let's go to the thing real quick, because I feel like we're ending on how when you don't know how to get off stage, but you kind of want to. Let me go to the chat.
Okay, and I'll help you end too. Can I tell you something that happened?
Sure.
Everyone, you may or may not know, I have a son. Half of the reason that I don't live in LA, more than half, 95% of the reason is I wanted to raise him around what I thought were normal people. And it turns out my family, I forgot how abnormal they are. But I had brought him to 1 million shows where he stayed in the green room. He's traveled with me a couple times a year. He knows a lot of my comic friends. We started a thing where I had comics tell kids jokes because I wanted him to know my friends, but I didn't want him to know the act. This week at the Orlando Improv, we were down there with him and 2 of his friends, age 14. They sat in on my show, and I heard my son laughing at my jokes. And it was probably the coolest thing that he said to me. And, granted, he's biased, but he said, "Mommy, you killed."
Oh, that's so awesome.
Was the greatest thing. Yep.
Did and you just obviously in a room full of people, you heard him. You just heard his laughter.
Yeah, his cackle. Like when I'm talking about his dad or whatever. Like, I was really lucky. It was a good set, and there were a few hecklers that I handled, and he loved. He sees. It was good for him to see that just underneath this person is a lunatic that is angry over everything, and he needs to know how much I pat that person down.
Yeah. So he saw you going after the hecklers. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know my mom had that. Like she could be."
Yeah.
I've seen mom mad. I've seen that mom, but I haven't seen this snarky kind of dig at you deep where it hurts one.
Yeah.
Which is worse than just getting mad.
Me emasculate everybody, and men, women, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Bo actually said, Tammy, would you do a show in Reep and Hickory? That's one of the things. Me and Reep's follow through suck. Reep's a very busy guy. But I will say we were going to do this time last year, we were doing these town swap things. And we did it once. I went to Hickory. Reep came to this area
here, and then I never heard back from
and then we never heard back from you. And then there's this cool little place right in my town that I live in that seats 400 that I could probably fill it.
You say it every time.
I say it.
Make it happen for me.
I will say this: if Chelsea, Michigan at what's it called? Some Rocks. I forgot the name. What's it called?
I don't
anyway,
know.
It's like 400 people. It's Robin Hills. Everybody blow up Robin Hills' Facebook page and say that you want to see John Heffron, Tammy Pescatelli, and Jon Reep. I'll do a comedy festival. You want a comedy festival in the middle of summer?
Yeah.
Real quick. Sponsored by True North Jerky right here in Chelsea. We can make it happen. We'll get 4 of us. So everyone stay here, and then we'll go do one show, and we'll get it sponsored by people. And so there, boom, look at that.
Then we'll do another day. If that's the case, we'll do it there. Then we'll drive over here and we'll do it here.
Where's the place by you?
We'll do it at Voodoo Brewery. That's what we'll do.
Voodoo Brewery in August. Can we do it in August? Is that too hot?
Could be, but okay.
Well, we can't do it when it's cold.
Yeah, but we could do it in September, which should be good. Nice chill day, because we're going to do it earlier in the afternoon.
Okay. We're
going to call it the Gas Money Tour.
We'll do it the Gas Money. Do you have a bowling alley in town? Because me and Reep crush it at bowling alleys.
We do have a bowling alley.
So you get that. Let's do the That's How We Roll tour. Me and Reep will show up and we'll perform at the bowling alley in your town.
Okay.
Or the place by you.
Okay.
200. We can fit 200 people. I've never seen it, but me and Reep did a bunch, and we did it, and it was super fun. That is what we call That's How We Roll, and it'll be in the fall. And whatever local school you have, their boosters. We can give some cashola to a school organization for performing arts or their speech class or something.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Biggest thing, your son has a kung fu.
Here we go.
Wood dummy. So when your son is an older man, decides that it's time to move, and he doesn't know what's going to happen to the kung fu dummy, tell him he already has a bidder. If he ever decides to sell it, I want the kung fu dummy. The kung fu dummy is something that I've wanted since I was 11, and I just think now I have the buying power that I can make it happen.
You can probably make it. If you can make those little charcuterie boards, you can make this. It's a telephone pole with some eggs on it.
All right. Everybody, make sure you check out Pescatelli.com. To this day, I don't know how to spell her last name, but it's right there.
I know.
Also, you can check out Heffron and Reep. We're at a bunch of places. Yeah. Jon Reep has his show Country-ish, where he has guests in their segments, and he has callers and producers on it. Jon Reep also. You haven't done that show? It's set up. It looks nice. It's a whole thing.
Beautiful.
Also, he's got his cruise, the three Amigo something cruise happening in 2050. I don't know when it's happening. You should go, Tammy.
What is it?
It's like it's in a year, and it's like a year from now. It's a 7-day cruise. That's the only thing I'm like, oh my God, 7 days. But Reno Collier's doing it. I'm doing it. I think he should be pushing for more comics to do it and make it more of a thing.
It would be great because we could get a lot accomplished. Invite me.
Okay. I appreciate you showing up last minute. We got a lot to figure out off air because we got to make things happen. I'm sick of things not happening. So they're going to happen. It's time. All right. Tammy, great talking to you. I'll probably talk to you soon.
All right. Call me tomorrow.
Until next we meet or speak. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Heffron and Reep podcast. Jon Reep will be back. Well, maybe next week is the 4th, so you probably won't see any of us. But then after that, then it's back on. By the way, this show was sponsored by thebestcuttingboards.com. What? Thebestcuttingboards.com. If you haven't got a cutting board yet, you should go. Why? Because we're doing all the orders now for Christmas. So we have time. So if you have Christmas ideas, you get a cutting board before the recession starts. The recession is going to start in about 2 months. So you have about 2 months to spend money willy-nilly. Then you better hunker down on it. So right now, go to thebestcuttingboards.com and buy a gift for somebody for the holidays. As Jon Reep would say to everybody, bicycle. I don't know how he says it. That's what he does. He goes, bicycle.
I said that every day.
Hickory.
All right.